Rovers' season is on the brink of collapse. And what about Stoke City? Can they get themselves back into winning ways in a bit of a ding-dong affair at the Bet365? This is Sam Gallagher Derby. We're coming at you next. That's right, folks, back once again with another match preview. Look forward to Stoke City against Blackburn Rovers at the Bet365. Blackburn Rovers yet to get a win under new manager Valérien Ismaël. Meanwhile, Stoke City continue to be linked with their relegation. Will they go down? We'll see. We'll take a little look at it, all of it in a second. If you're new, where you've been, smash your subscribe and you want to stop shop for Blackburn Rovers, Championship football, world football, we get all here under one Rooski. Rovers yet to get a win, and of course coming into this on the back of an absolute shit show, disaster class against Derby County. Of course, that game is behind us now. Let's move on, and of course let's hope to get back to winning ways, taking on Stoke this week. Of course, double match week. Of course, we'll get to that in a minute. Big shout out to the members, big shout out to the patrons. You know who you are. What we're going to do now, though, is of course preview the game and look forward to it. It's at the Bet365, and let you know right here, right now, we have a watch along. Pete's on the hot seat. He's got to get the win. He's got to get the win. So let's get into it and look forward to Stoke City against Blackburn Rovers. Now, the recent run of form ain't too... It's all right for Rovers, actually. I'll tell a lie. Did I update this? Did I update this graphic? It's not that great. We've played 23 times in 2008, 12 wins for Stoke, 7 wins for Rovers, 4 draws. Stoke coming into this on the back of 4 games without a win, 25% form. They are 20th with 36 points for the campaign. Rovers, of course, 42% form for them right now, winless in the last 3 now. Of course, they are 8th with 52 points. We have a 3-0 win on our record, as do Stoke. They've scored more goals than us, 28 to our 25. We're picking up a 1.22 goals a game on average goal ratio. So that's the tail of the tape, the 23 games there, the last 23. But the last 6 look it's a little bit like this. I looked at this earlier. I thought, hey, that's not too bad. We've got a good bit of form. But no, it's shit. The last 6 games between Stoke and ourselves go in favour of Stoke. They've won 4 and we've only won 2. That's right. They picked up the 2-0 win earlier in the season at Ewood Park under John Eustace, Manoff, and Thomas Cannon on the score sheet. Rovers, though, did pick up a win the previous 2 affairs. In fact, I think if we take a look at the last few at the Bet365, it does swing in our favour. Wow. We picked up a 3-0 win last time around. Andy Moran, of course, is on the books of Stoke this season, scoring Sam Smudge and Scotty Wharton as well. All 3 of those guys will not be involved for Blackburn Rovers this season. What's going on here? Let me go back over here. So, of course, that's that. We'll take a look at the overall situation in a second. I've just got to stop this fucking thing. Do have a mind of his own here. Mind of his own. So let's get back into it and have a look at what I'm talking about. With Blackburn Rovers. Of course, the recent run, or the last 10, looks a little bit like this. Of course, we did lose the last time around. However, prior to that, we had back-to-back wins. So we won 2 of the last 3, but Stoke have a better record over the last goodness know how many. So, it's not familiar. It's not a good result. It's not good fixture for Rovers. But if you do roll back the years, it is a little bit better. Over the last 88 matches, we've won 40 of them. They've won 33. There's been 15 draws. They've scored 120 goals to our 151. So that's that. If you look at the squads, it's quite tight valuation-wise. They just about edge it to Stoke. 53.05 euros is a million euros is the squad valuation compared to our 52.55. They average 1.77 million euros a player compared to our 1.95 million pounds a player. Not sure how that works. Maybe we have a smaller squad. I don't know. We have an older squad than they do. They have more national team players, more youth national team players, and more foreigners than we do as well. What about, of course, the coaches? Well, is 55-year-old Mark Robins under the spotlight for Stoke. 1.43 points per match ratio. His record against Rovers is okay. He's managed against us 13 times, winning 3, losing 4, and drawing 6. Picking up a 1.15 points per match ratio. His record against Valérien Ismaël ain't the greatest. He's managed against them 4 times. Actually, it's pretty good, actually, isn't it? He's won 4 of them. He's lost just once. I'm picking up 1 draw. 1.75 points per match ratio. Meanwhile, Valérien Ismaël's record against Stoke is pretty shitty, actually. Just won once, lost twice, and drawn the once again. And his record against Mark Robins also pretty shitty. So it's not looking good for us and Valérien Ismaël at the moment. These are the games we looked at it. We thought, you know what? We're going to get some results here, but it's been shit. It's been shit. I thought we were shit against Norwich. I thought we were desperately awful, really tragic against Norwich. I would like to see some form of a change. We were lazy. We were slow, pedestrian, backwards even against Derby County. It was an embarrassment to say the least. Anyway, let's take a look at the key men. Victor Johannesson, of course, one of the best keepers in the division, plays for Stoke. As for Tyree Stolen, I don't know why his fucking face is on here. Meanwhile, let's take a look at Stoke's squad here. Looking at the goalkeeper, of course, Johannesson will be number one no matter what. He is, of course, phenomenal goalkeeper. Very jealous, very envious. Meanwhile, into the defensive ranks at former Rover there, Ashley Phillips. Amongst it on loan, currently from Spurs to Stoke. We've got Ben Winwart in there, Edna Stevens, Junior Cheshmanu, a player we were linked with a long time ago, Bobcat as well in the mixer. Meanwhile, into midfield, they got the likes of Junio Bay or Lewis Kumas. Moran is there, Lewis Baker, of course. He's scored a couple of ding-dongs in recent times. They've got a fair bit of players here, a fair bit of depth, especially in midfield. Of course, we've got familiar Sam Gallagher still wearing the blue and white shirt here. We've got Ryan Mammy and Al Hamadi, who I think he got substituted in the last game. Anyway, this is my starting 11 for Stoke. Johannesson between the sticks, Tishmanu on the right-hand side, Stevens on the left, Phillips and Wilmot. We've got Berger and Pearson in midfield. We've got Kumas, Moran and Junio. Sam Gallagher gets the nod after his 2 goals against Coventry last time around. Meanwhile, Rovers' squad looks a little bit like this. We've got Blasov Toff, could arguably be in the goalkeeping jersey this time around because Pears has a couple of absolute howlers, but maybe the responsibility for that should have been on the defenders who made absolute mares of those 2 goals conceded against Derby. The sooner we get some more defensive reinforcements back, the likes of Danny Barth and Owen Beck are sorely missed right now, and I think maybe changing it up a little bit would be proof is in the pudding. If we can get back quickly and maybe on back for some competition for Ribeiro because currently he is the only recognised left back. Into the midfield ranks, Choster Travis will have to start. No Wyman. Hedges was injured as well. He didn't get to play in the last match. And Dennis should be back. Cargbo pulled up a little injury, hopefully not too bad. And we did see a little bit of Coley Woodrow in the last match. Meanwhile, this is my lineup. I'm going to go pairs. Britton, Carter, Hyam and Ribeiro, Travis Tronstad, Dolan Ohashi, Dennis and Maktar Gay, who did score in the game against Derby. So that's, of course, my team. Let's take a look at the star men so far for each side. We've got on the left-hand side, Stoke. Victor Johansson has been the best player on the pitch thus far. After that, everyone else is not really delivering for Stoke. Pretty sloppy across the board. Lewis Baker has come in and he's there 6.94 right now. Meanwhile, on the flip side, Callum Britton's been the main man for Rovers. Danny Bart, Dom Hyam been crucial at the back. Todd Campbell's been a bit shit. I'm not going to lie to you. It's been very, very shit as of so far. Where's Tyree Stolen in here? Absolutely nowhere. I don't know why, because he's been shite as well. Let's take a look at the stats. Stoke are on average 6.81 per player over the course of the 36 matches. They've scored 36 goals, conceded 50, picking up with just 1 goal a game. Meanwhile, Rovers have scored 6.90 on average. They've scored 41 goals, conceded 37, picking up a 1.1 goals a game ratio. Meanwhile, ball possession for Rovers 48.1 compared to the 47 for Stoke. They come into this with 10 clean sheets to our 13. As for the duels won, 45.9% of the duels won by Stoke, 45.8 in the air. Rovers bossing them in that regard, 50% of duels won per game and 51.5 aerial duels won. We've got 3 red cards to their 0. Meanwhile, let's take a look at the stats then. Of course, when in possession, Stoke prefer to come down the left-hand side to the right, and they can be found more often than not in the defensive third than the attacking third. As for Rovers, we can be found also more often than not in the defensive third than the attacking third, and again, we split our possession both down the left and the right-hand side. As for shots, Rovers prefer to shoot from the right to the left, and 60% of our shots are in the 18-yard box. Meanwhile, Stoke also prefer the right to the left, and 61% of their shots are in the 18-yard area. As for shots received, more often than not, they're going to be busier down the left-hand side, and 32% of their shots coming at you from outside the box. Rovers, again, similar to that of Stoke, 17% coming down the left-hand side, and 35% long-range bad boys. As for the goals, the goals have been scored 17 through open play for Stoke, 10 set pieces. That is a crucial statistic. 5 goals scored for counter-attacks and 4 penalties. They conceded, though, 29 through open play, 11 set pieces, 5 own goals, 3 counter-attacks and 2 penalties. As for Rovers, though, scoring 27 through open play, just 6 set pieces, 4 counter-attacks, 3 penalties and 1 own goal. We have conceded 11 through set pieces, so we can expect that to be a very, very dangerous area for Stoke. 22 goals conceded through open play and 3 penalties and 1 counter-attack goal conceded. As for the form heading into this, it's not great. It really isn't great for Rovers. We are 14th in the form table. Over the last 6, we've only won twice and lost 3 times, picking up just the 1 draw. Meanwhile, Stoke, of course, all the way down to 22nd in the form book, but their form at home ain't too. It's not that bad. Of course, it's not brilliant. They have picked up a 1-1 loss, 1 drew, 1 over the last 3. Rovers, though, on the road, just 1 win the last 6. Absolutely criminally bad away form from Blackburn Rovers. Moving forward, let's take a look at the table. This is as of right now without the Portsmouth Leeds result. Of course, that's already taken place probably by the time this video goes live. Recording this on Saturday, so I don't think much will change. I think both teams will be as of where they are. So Rovers in 8th. A win could see us get back into the top 6, but we need a massive goal swing. I think it's just trying to keep up with the Joneses right now. That's the best we can do. Keep up with the Mowbrays. If we can win, great. Then we might still be within touching distance of the playoffs with Cardiff to take on before the international break. But let's not look ahead to that game. This one's a stinker. We don't usually do good at Stoke, so I'm expecting a tough old slog. Meanwhile, the trajectory for Rovers is shit. We need a Valorant Ishmael fucking hairdryer treatment. We need them to be, you need to mark orders, give them a right old rocket up the arse. None of this nicey approach. Just go in there, rip them a new one, and give it to them. Meanwhile, Stoke just, flatlining right now. They're just not doing good. Not much movement up or down, but they are more down than up. So both sides desperate for a win to get their agendas back on track. Stoke to stay in the division and Rovers to get into those playoffs. But right now, it doesn't look good for either of these two clubs. Meanwhile, what can we expect? Well, we can expect Stoke to shoot from free kicks. Of course, they're good at set pieces. Their weaknesses, though, scoring chances, avoiding offsides, aerial duels, defending against, avoiding individual errors, defending set pieces, and stopping opponents from creating chances. Their style of play, though, is through balls coming down the left. They do mix up the 11, and they are quite aggressive, and they play the offside trap, and they do like to play the ball in their own half. Meanwhile, Rovers, strong against protecting the lead, attacking down the wings, and aerial duels. We also like to steal the ball from the opposition. Weaknesses, though, we are pretty shit, just or across the board. Keeping possession of the ball, set pieces, and avoiding fouling in dangerous areas. Style of play, though, is aggressive, and we do play in our own half. The forecast says Stoke will score from a free kick, Rovers will dominate the air, and there'll be a high number of cards in this game. Meanwhile, it is a slam-packed double match week. Of course, it could the playoffs and the relegation picture could be completely different following on in 7 days' time. But these are the games. We've got Derby against Coventry over at Pride Park. We have Borough against QPR, Cardiff against Luton, Burnley against West Brom. We have Sunderland against Preston, Norwich against Sheffield Wednesday, and Sheffield United against Bristol City. Those are the Tuesday games. Into Wednesday, we have Hull City against Oxford, Watford against Swansea, Leeds against Millwall, Portsmouth against Plymouth, and of course, the big one at the Bet365. It's Stoke. It is Blackburn Rovers. And again, Pete will be at the watch-along. I'll be keeping an eye on the game behind the bloody scenes, of course. So what about my prediction then for this game? It's an absolute stonker and a must-win game for Valorant Ishmael. Right now, the jury's out. Nobody's believing in Valorant Ishmael right now. I think lucky against Norwich, very lucky against Norwich to get a point. Shambolically bad against Derby County. I guess if you took out that first 10 minutes, I think we were okay against Derby, a resolute Derby are trying to salvage something. But right now, we need something. We need a performance to show. We need a cricket score. We need a 4-0 win, something to come out of nowhere to show us that the Valorant Ishmael ball, we should be able to believe in it. Because right now, if we're not changing anything, I don't see the point. I think Valorant Ishmael is notorious for his high tempo football. I didn't see that. I saw backwards, sideways, mundane, low urgency football against Derby County, who were bottom of the table. So what's going on there? We need to sort that out. Get some tempo, get some aggression, get some intensity. No nonsense approach for this game against Stoke. We've got to win it. So I'm going to do it. We've got to win it. We have to win it. I'm going with a 2-1 win for Blackburn Rovers. Sam Gallagher with a trademark goal against his old club. That's my take. Let me know your thoughts and opinions down below. Of course, we'll see you on the other side. But until then, we're done.